Mediocre Rumble Brothers. Three, two, one.
All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Mediocre Rumble Brothers. Today we're going to be doing ourselves a nice special with the new Mario Kart World Direct that's showing up, coming here soon. We're going to be starting off from going from the very beginning of what made Super Mario Kart turn into Mario Kart World. And we're just going to have some thoughts to be talking about as we go along with this. So we're going to go ahead and start with the very first video, being with Super Mario Kart for Snes or Super Nintendo.
Got it.
Funnily enough, I have this one, but I haven't actually played it. I just grabbed it for the collection because I saw it cheap at a one like flea market kind of place.
I mean, I used to play this a lot.
And that was it.
92. Look at that.
Yes.
Edwin played this one time and just was like, "No."
Yep.
He's blown away.
Exactly.
What?
What the graphics?
The
3D.
I mean, it's a
Dude.
It's a classic. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's kind of it definitely sucks that you play it too for like battle mode, because that's just...
Oh yeah, this is the one where they had Donkey Kong Jr. instead of DK still. Is at this time DK and Jr. were still technically two separate characters.
That's weird. I did not know that.
That's so
And
real.
DK is like one of the faster characters. He's heavy, has slow acceleration, but
damn,
he's like
he takes
super
up that
fast.
whole fucking map. My big ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The reason I never got into this one as a kid, though, is that I really don't like how this looks. And I'm not just saying, oh, it's pixelated. Yeah, this like weird, like flat but 3D thing. Like I don't know. I'd never
It's
cared for it.
It's the same thing as like F-Zero, the same style of racing. Wait,
You cheat. Yeah, you cheat, son of a bitch. Get your ass back on that.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it, but it's just like the coins like flat on the surface of the road.
Yeah.
And also the items that don't respawn is just really annoying. Plus, the further you look out at the track, the more pixelated it is, so it's hard to see
I keep
if you're supposed to go left or right.
I keep paying attention to those trees. Like those look like ice cream, like popsicle sticks.
oh yeah.
They're like, they look delicious.
I mean, visually, like when I played this though, it still looked real. As far as like racing games go on Super Nintendo, like definitely is like the best one.
Oh yeah, I mean, it had a strong foundation. Like, I have played this one before. I never got it. I mean, I didn't have a Super Nintendo as a kid, but it controls well. It's very simple, so I mean, like, it definitely set the foundation for the series going forward. Fun trivia about the game is that in all other regions that weren't America, Bowser and Peach, I believe, have a victory animation where they are drinking booze in like a big
What?
Yeah, they have a big
Nice.
like wine bottle, like because they do that at the end of races, or at least they used to.
Oh, like the champagne.
Yeah, the
for
champagne
winning.
bottle. In other regions, Bowser and Peach were actually drinking from it, but in everywhere else, they still had the bottle, but they were just kind of holding it. Like Peach was just tossing it up and down, and Bowser was just kind of holding it. But in the other regions, they were actually drinking from it in the victory animation.
Nice.
Peach getting turned.
Yeah, getting cranked up.
But
Yeah,
I'm a
overall,
so I can drink.
the like some of the other racing games that I've played on like original Super Nintendo, I think one of them is like Road Rash.
Road Rash,
and,
yeah.
And then like Outrun or something, or whatever it was the racing game where you just drive straight and then occasionally turn and try not to palm tree or something. Like those, you didn't really have games like this, or they had that weird freaking hate RC Pro-Am or something like that, the like weird top-down, like almost tank controls racing games where you turn the car by holding right, but it always rotates it that, like, you know, in a right direction, or rotates it on a left direction. You hold up to go forward. Doesn't matter what part of the screen you're facing. So this style of racing, to actually have like a full track turning and racing other people that have like a visible distance to you and interacting with them, this is so much more fun than playing those other racing games that were just trying to do it.
Yeah. Not to mention also just the Mario, like, aesthetic is just incredibly, like, not only iconic but fun. I guess it's very pleasing to look at with all the colors and things. So it's just nice.
It's interesting that they do the almost like DS approach too, with that map on the bottom.
All right.
Yeah,
I
that
was
is
wondering
weird.
about that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like that one, but that one is definitely not my favorite.
Yeah. Well, the game itself would look weird if it was a full like letterbox or whatever. It's like 4:3 ratio screen, just because like I don't even think it could render that. I think that's why it has to be the way it is. Even though I don't think that's how F-Zero functions, but either way,
Yeah. So we're gonna be
it's fun. Yeah.
So we're going to be jumping onto the second one, Mario Kart 64. So mind you, we're not going to have all of the games listed, but we're going to have the ones that I or us was a good standing out version that was actually like a progression as we went through to get to today's game, the Super Mario World. So we're just going to be working it through that way. So the next one is going to be Mario Kart 64.
This is
This one I played a lot.
Yeah, I love this. I played the shit out of it by myself. The music is so iconic.
Need no
The
one
levels
else.
are iconic.
Play my own.
Well, it's like for a game that's almost designed to be multiplayer and get into the newest one too. But like all these levels are so fun. The music is so good. I always loved the visual style of it. I thought the graphics are really. The controls are really good and still really good if you go back to play it. So they really like honed in on this one.
Yeah, the desert railway track is like the one I actually treated like an open world Mario Kart.
Yeah,
because I just like drive on the tracks and chasing the train.
I just realized that it has like actual like text in the smoke when you're boing and all that shit, the E and all that stuff for their sounds when that's pretty cool. I didn't notice that.
I see that they already got rid of the coins. Because I don't think they brought back the coins until Mario Kart 8, right? Or 7. Because I know they took out the coins from the Snes one, and they really did not add them back for a long time. Because I remember when the coins became a thing in 8, I was like baffled, because I was like, why are we doing coins now that like make you go faster? But I didn't
What
know
was the purpose
that
of the coins in the first game?
I think it's the same thing. They make you go faster. Yeah, it's the same thing that they do now. They just took them out for XYZ reason.
Well,
I'm
in
actually
8,
entirely sure why.
You collect coins in 8 to hit on cars and stuff too.
Yeah, the coins give you like a tiny boost when you collect them, and then they total up at the end of each Grand Prix, and then you just hit a milestone in coin collection for new car parts.
Hmm.
Yeah, I almost got all of them, but there was like
there's some
hidden ones.
Now this one still looks better than the SNES version. Obviously, it's not the same technology and it's more advanced, but I still don't like the visual style. I don't like the weird flatness of it all still, like the pixel art of the characters and stuff like that. It still looks better, but even as a kid, I did not find this very visually appealing to me personally. Obviously, a lot of people like this game, but I still was not playing Mario Kart at this time with this game.
And I did notice that with games back in the day, you could see like how they were kind of using that wall as like a cheat kind of thing, so they didn't have to put out so much graphics or trying to make you see outside. They could kind of control what was going on because everything is basically blocked off, so you don't have to see any of that stuff. So it's easier for designing. I noticed that that's usually what it came in with most video games for 64 and PlayStation back then.
The thing with this too is like this game is so fun for players. Like I enjoy having friends from the neighborhood come over and like everybody plug in a controller, play this shit. We would play it for hours, and it was just so fun. And like the other racing games that the 64 had, because there's tons on there. I played Top Gear. I like that one because it had visible damage. You can actually break your car. There was. What is it? San Francisco Rush 2049. That was kind of a zany game. Cruising USA was pretty fun. Even though that one's courses were still like drive straight, but the visual style of it was pretty neat. Plus, it was the arcade game that people enjoyed playing that in arcades, so it was like having that at home. But I played a lot of Extreme G, which
God,
is
fast.
basically Mario Kart. Yeah, Mario Kart at like
Fucking
9,000
steroids.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could go so fast the screen invert to like being upside down. It's crazy. But Wave Race 64, they had like they were basically showing the water technology they had. But there's plenty of racing games on the 64. Even still, I had NASCAR 99 with the steering wheel, and
Oh, yeah.
that was kind of ridiculous. And the only thing I want to do is turn around and run into other cars because it was just kind of boring. But Mario Kart just maintained like the excitement of racing, even though it's like this silly version, I guess. Like we didn't really get a lot of serious racing games that were like true racing simulators for folks for a little bit until like PS1 drops Gran Turismo, but Mario Kart is just like it
I
dialed
think the
into the
only
fun
big
factor so
racing
good.
game at this time was CTR, wasn't it? Crash Team Racing people liked a lot, and that was roughly at the same time on PS1. People really liked that game. But clearly, I mean, I'm not super, into CTR or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure they were clearly inspired by the first Mario Kart, like clearly.
Well, I think Crash Team Racing came out after this one because the PlayStation 1 I don't even yet or something like I don't really remember the because I know that they were developing the PlayStation 1 as a Nintendo product, I think, and then they split and made the PlayStation, and then Nintendo did this with the 64. But yeah, Crash Team Racing is basically supposed to be this game
And
for Crash.
and this is
Yeah, I think at the time I had the Mario Kart 64, Wipeout 64, and Crash Team Racing. It's like
God,
I had a lot of racing games.
The Wipeout games are so interesting because I feel like there's sci-fi floating jet plane game that comes out every time there's a new console.
And this is for GameCube, correct? Just to be sure.
Double
yes,
Dash?
the
Yes.
beautiful
Okay.
Double Dash. This is when I got into Mario Kart. I played the absolute fuck out of this game with my friend. Oh my god, I love this game so much.
I played as very little, sadly.
This game I really like because of the carts. Like I thought the cart designs were really cool because you actually have different vehicles now, and there's more characters, obviously, because very limited on the 64.
I never actually played this one, so.
Well, this one has the unique gimmick of having two people on a cart. You had one person driving and another person throwing items on the back.
That's cool.
And that made a really fun co-op,
Party
split screen,
deal.
quote unquote split screen. Yeah, like I never played with a lot of kids. Like I had a lot of like one, I go over to one friend's house, and they all lived in like different areas. I hope that frame rate on yours is better on your screen than it is for ours.
Yeah.
This is like a flip book.
Yeah. As long as it's recording good for you. But when you're playing two player, obviously it's really fun because one person's driving, one person's throwing items. So you're like, "Hey, throw!" It's like, stop driving like a fucking grandmother, and you're just like screaming back and forth at each other. And then you can also like trade anytime you want to and stuff like that. And they even had another thing that I don't know if they ever brought back again was character specific items because like when you're playing as Bowser, you can sometimes get a big green shell that's like his shell, so it's like a huge green shell and it takes up like the whole lane and it'll bounce all around and cause havoc. Or you can be Mario or Luigi and you'll get fireballs to throw at people, or Peach and Daisy get like a heart shield that can block items from hitting them and stuff like that. I don't think they ever actually
Just
brought
shell.
that back. Yeah. And so I always thought those were really fun because it really did affect who you played as, because sometimes you were just like, well, I don't want to play as Donkey Kong because his only item is just big banana as opposed to just regular banana. And I also thought that like a lot of the more memorable courses came from this game, even smaller fun ones like Baby Park, which is literally just circling in a circle, but it's so chaotic.
It's like a small track, 8 laps, and that one was really fun just because like I was trying to get so good at just almost drifting the entire race.
Yeah.
But yeah, that track they were just on, the Luigi's one, that one's fun. Driving at each other since the turn just flips you right back around into oncoming traffic. I always loved like the Toad's Turnpike levels too that had vehicles on the road. And friends would be like, "Don't pick that level because there's stuff in the way," and it's just like, but that's the point. Like, I like,
Yeah, that's the point.
I like the
And
like
there's-
dodge that shit kind of thing. It's the same thing where people are like, "Let's play Smash Brothers, but only on Final Destination. No
Who are you?
items, no platforms." And it's like,
Why?
well, now it's just a fighting game.
Um,
I want the zany.
Get
shit.
out.
Yeah, why are you in my house? But the graphics for this game are really good. Obviously they're pulling their
they're a bit polygonal nowadays, but overall the look is still there. Like
Yeah.
it still doesn't look bad technically, and that was another reason why I think this is where I really started to get into Mario Kart was with this game because it looked really good. Not that I was one of those people. I was like, oh, it has to be 3D or I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I just this one looks all together there. Like everything looks right to me. And like I said, I just have tons of memories of playing this game. I like the DK level where you get shot out of the big cannon and you had to like drive back down the mountain. I love that course. Like there's so many good courses in this game, and this is my real introduction to Mario Kart was this game. And this Mario Kart has a lot of unique aspects that none of the other Mario Karts do. That makes it this one specifically unique in and of itself, and why people remember this one a lot.
Yeah. Because usually when anyone talks about Mario Kart, they always like talk about this one. It's just like, damn it, I can't relate because I haven't played I played this one a little more than the NES one, but I still haven't played it that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, damn, I really missed out.
Well, it's like it's kind of funny, but a lot of people fall back to like the GameCube versions of GameCube one was so good, and because the GameCube does have like a lot of bangers on it. It did kind of start with some of the ideas that you see carry us to other parts of the franchise. We were about to see it with the new Metroid game since the first person Metroid started GameCube.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why it's like my favorite console of all time.
Yeah.
The poor GameCube did not get enough credit that it was due at the time. Maybe we'll do a whole episode exploring GameCube games someday.
Yay, Mario Kart Wii, the first installment of that dipshit controller thing. But
what is your problem? You get so irrationally angry about the fucking
it's
Wii
just
remote
motion
control.
controls, and I don't like it.
It wasn't even that bad. This is like the second most played Mario Kart I had. I remember this one specifically because
there's Mii characters.
They're
there.
like there are, but Corey likes those, so he's not going to yell about it.
Well, he had
characters are funny.
But like I remember this one specifically because growing up, like it was like we were well enough off, but if I wanted a new video game, it was like I either had to trade in the shit I had at the time or I had to wait till Christmas or my birthday. There was no in between. But I remember this one specifically that I went to the store, I saw it in there, and I already had a Wii, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, can I just decided to shoot shot in the dark." I'm like, "Hey, can we get Mario Kart?" And she just looked at me for a second and was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Wait, what? That worked?" I was like, "Are you shitting me?" I was like, "Okay, sweet."
Wasting so much time.
I played the absolute. Yeah, it's like I played the absolute shit out of it. And yes, I got the dumbass fucking the wheel you put your Wii remote into, but it was fun. It actually worked well. Like it didn't feel weird to use. And it controlled really well. Also, this was the introduction of bikes, I believe, is when they first put motorcycles is in this one.
And it's not just me, but does this one look a lot more pale in color too?
Yes, I just noticed
the
that
color
myself.
palette is like desaturated a bit more.
Like I don't think this is a bad Mario Kart, but I definitely do not think it is.
Yeah,
as good
it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's like where's
it
doesn't look bad.
It has Funky Kong in it though. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
understand your hate for the motion control, but it's like there is like some sense of joy in it. It's just like a cheaper version of the actual like full steering wheel stand
when you get hit by a blue shell.
That
does not feel good.
It's true. That's true across all of the.
Yeah, but me and Tim played a absolute shit ton of this game, and I played a lot of it too. I never played the online mode. I know a lot of people like their Mario Kart online, but I do not. I just like playing by myself.
There he is, the cow.
I also think this was the first iteration of a mechanic. Yeah. the first iteration of mechanic that they've been using since then was when you bounced off of a surface, like if you got air of any kind somehow, unless you were getting hit by an item, you could flick the Wii remote up, like the wheel upwards, and you do a trick, but then you'll get a boost of speed when you land. I think this was the game that introduced that, if I'm not mistaken, and they've been running with that ever since.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not bad. I think in the new direct, they might have like changed that a little bit, but
they've expanded on it, if anything, because you can just do so many different things to get those trick things off. I mean, that was half the fun of this Wii one, is that finding the little spaces where you could just get a little bit of air, but as long as you got a little bit, you could do a trick, and then you get a boost of speed. So finding those like little shortcuts was always fun in a lot of these maps.
I think flip your Wii remote upwards and then into the ceiling.
Not like, really, well, I mean, yeah, if you're fucking retarded, I guess, hold on to your controller.
I don't really like the level design of this one so much. Like, it seems very like empty.
Yeah, and minus that last part with all the molds. But I think this is a classic track anyway. So
yeah, but
it's
it didn't
just
seem like we saw it in the 64. Just spread
out.
And just, even the background is like meh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really
meadows,
care for
I guess.
meadows
What am I
all that
supposed
much.
to?
Yeah. Moo! Crank that soldier boy. Moo.
This one's just a bunch of dots. I don't know what
that's
this map
the
is.
bouncing on the mushroom tops.
I mean, maybe you guys could answer this, but has it always been a thing in the Mario Kart series where the farther in the back you were, the better items you could get out of the item boxes?
I believe
that's
so.
True till today.
Like it's rubber banding or whatever they call it. Specifically, I think if you're in last place, your car does go a little bit faster. But I also think, well, definitely, like when the game is started, it predetermines one of the NPCs to be basically fucking godlike at the game. Yeah. So it's like randomly one character will just be a pain in the ass, and you'll know by the end of the first race they're right on you.
Like it's like that's your rival for the entire.
That's who you're racing,
section. Yeah,
not really anybody else. You're just racing Wario. It's
For me, it's always
there's the flip
Wendy.
they did right there. But I like.
That's also that's the in-game. That's like a joke with people, right? The joke with me and Tim is that he was always getting fucked over by Luigi, no matter what we were doing. It was Luigi was always his pain in the ass. He developed like this hatred for the character because of Mario Kart.
It's kind of like when you play. Whenever I played like Mario Party and I set Peach to 9, it's like Peach is just a fucking entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that's by design, but I like the level designs of this map. Like, there's a lot more zaniness in, I guess, Mario Kart Wii because of like the moving shit on the road, and it starts to get a little bit more fun rather than just like a cannon that shoots you. And then now we're jumping into the DS one.
Mario Kart 7.
Is this the DS one?
Mario Kart 7.
Mario Kart 7. Yeah, and you could play this.
They introduced gliding.
You could play this. That ad hoc mode where you just basically I have the game, you guys don't, but we can all play it together or something like that.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Okay,
I know we're going to do that again.
I know we weren't going to go over every single Mario Kart, obviously, but because there's smaller ones. But the only other Mario Kart that we're not going to go over today that I played an absolute shit ton was Mario Kart DS. For a portable Mario Kart, super well done, controlled really well, and I played the absolute shit out of that game by myself. Like I played so much Mario Kart DS.
Wait, isn't this Mario Kart DS?
No, but this might have been a different one, like an actual numbered one. If this is a DS game, I don't.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Well, I have it still.
Yeah, so the one I played was not a numbered Mario Kart. The one that, it's definitely not this one because the one that I played looked a lot more like shit. The one that I played was the first one. It's called Mario Kart DS. It was definitely not this one. I did not play this one. I just played what is just standard Mario Kart DS.
There's the one that we also haven't seen is Mario Kart Advance.
Yeah, there are other smaller spin-offs of Mario Kart and stuff, but we're just going over the big numbered ones. Also, I guess this is when they reintroduced coins, and this one, 7.
They also reintroduced color because this game is vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit! I was like, I'm looking at my DS case right now. It's like the one that I have is Mario Kart DS, not Mario Kart 7.
Wait, I'm gonna look at
Oops,
my.
that was my bad.
Quick, everyone pause and check their DS collections.
Yeah, I do have Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, in the background.
I got mistaken.
I thought it was on.
Why the fuck are there two Mario Kart DS games?
Well, Mario Kart DS.
What was the purpose of that?
It also has that boss fight mode, or at least I think there's a bomb-on level or something where you guys are all driving around trying to knock him off the building.
Well, is this?
I think there's two because the first one was definitely more like of a.
Well, I mean, wasn't this one
Go
for?
ahead.
Wasn't that one DS, and then this is for 3DS? Possibly. Is that what? Maybe the difference?
Yeah, maybe this is a 3DS game.
It would make sense
could
to me
be.
because the DS, I don't think the DS had the power, and they were just testing it out. They're like, yeah, we can get Mario Kart to run, but this isn't going to be like a mainline Mario Kart, so that's why they just called it Mario Kart DS. But then when the 3DS came out and they knew what they were doing, they're like, all right, now we can make like a full fledged.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, this is a really good looking DS game, so yeah, it makes more sense now that this is not.
Yep, platform
DS.
Nintendo 3DS Mario
Cloud
Kart.
got
There you
the
go.
bottom
That makes
of
more sense. But yeah, I never played this one, but it looks pretty good. I wish I kind of did, honestly, if it was on the DS, since I liked Mario Kart DS the first time, I'd probably would have liked this one.
It's kind of
not
funny.
play
I
this one either.
got a buddy right now that's building a Mario Kart prototype just in Unity, just because he wants to see if he can make it work. And he's just sending me some videos where he's recreating the carts and Blender and stuff. It's kind of funny. He can already drive around and everything. That's neat.
It's just like your goal of making a Mario Kart game. It's just like, how close can I make this to where I get a cease and desist from Nintendo?
Yeah. I just want their lawyers to say, like,
I want them to have to think about it.
They're about to open their
I
briefcase, and they're like,
sue them?
not yet.
Yeah.
He's about to, but then he has to go on lunch and just forgets.
But I think
It's-
the
it's
other,
nice.
because since we're really
I've
gonna,
seen
we're
this
only
level before in
seeing a
8.
surface level here. I think the important thing to realize about a lot of these games is
I
they
like this
really
level.
are comprised of just like, here's Grand Prix, here's versus mode, here's usually like battle or something. Some of them might have like a few smaller mini games to them, but they are generally like the same game modes over and over again with
Yeah.
just different courses, carts, and characters. Like it is a very samey. That's why Double Dash stands
Yeah.
out, because as far as game mechanics go, that had the most changes to it. And this one obviously has like flying and stuff, but let's be real, the flying's just kind of like set dressing. You're still just driving, you're just doing it in the air now. You know,
Yeah.
it changes very little of how the game actually plays.
It's kind of
Um,
interesting. I mean, like, this might not be like the best statement, I guess, but you could almost say that like every Mario Kart game iteration is just DLC, the last one for the most part, because it's
Yeah.
just new characters, new courses, and it's not that big of a change of what it is. And then people could be, well, what about Final Fantasy? There's a bunch of those, even though they all kind of play the same, but it's a different story, different characters. You know, it's not even really close to the same category of what this.
Yeah, I'm
comparison
seeing
would
a
be. But
lot of levels.
You can't do DLC for a Super Nintendo game, I guess. But
that
like,
were from this. that
yeah,
are
no,
in
they
8.
that's the point, right? It's like I'm saying that these are like, they feel like DLCs of the last one because it's just like more of the same thing but a little bit better. But then they use all of these courses as DLC in the newer, sell them to you. So it's like even in Mario Kart 8, it's like that the classic pack that had all the new courses, but then courses from like around like all of the other games,
Like
that
a
people
Mario
love.
Party kind of feel,
So,
where they take all
it's-
the old games and they compile it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Well,
It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
oh,
it's
that's
just
cool.
it's the Mario Kart 8 with the like the added courses and all that. That's like one of the closest things you could possibly get to a Mario Kart Ultimate variant of Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
added
lot of
a
characters.
lot of courses to
There's-
8.
Yeah, a lot of characters and all that jazz. I mean, this one's really neat, and like the level design is creative. The course is like way more just visually appealing, and like more obstacles. It's, you know, more turns, a little bit like as they increase in difficulty of like the, you know, the skill it takes to drive around these things with drifting and stuff like that. They really kind of lean into like their race mechanics a bit more.
I'm still blown away.
Which is
This is
kinda
coming from a
nice.
3DS.
I mean, I thought
this
he was
is
gonna get
very good
blasted by that green
graphics
shell.
for being in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
3DS was actually a pretty powerful console, and I mean,
Holy
obviously,
shit.
it's since this is a first-party Nintendo game, they're gonna best know how to utilize their technology. But
Yeah,
you'd be surprised the games you can get on 3DS. I mean,
the biggest difference between Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart DS is the fact that on the DS one, you have the D-pad. Meanwhile, on the 3DS, you have the analog stick, so you can have better turning.
Yeah.
yeah, we should move on to the game they sold 800 times.
Yeah, Mario Kart Infinite.
Might as well call it
Mario
that.
Kart 8, but again.
Yeah.
It's deluxe.
I do like that 8 Infinity item that you can get in the game, but you have to be like almost like almost
Mario,
all the way in last place to get it. Whereas like here's 8 items because fuck everything.
I love all of the UI for this one. Like it's so
I love this
clean,
game.
it's so fun. The colors for this are great. The level designs for this are great. Like I couldn't glaze this enough, right? Because it's like there's so many dope characters. I love the customizing of the cars, which I know we're
Well-polished.
gonna talk about that in
Look
a
at the
few,
look at the
too.
shining on
But
the metal and the
he's driving
plastic.
a
It
shoe.
fucking looks real.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
just realized the
Keep
fucking
mind-
shoes.
I'm driving vans.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Is this the Wii U one or is this the Switch one?
This is the Switch one.
Well,
I mean, they're
either
both the
way,
same thing.
Yeah, they're both.
even
Oh,
if it was the
it's
Switch one, it's
it's
only
a Switch.
upgraded.
It said all DLC.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so-
I mean, this was the best-selling title on both the Wii U and the Switch, which, in my mind, is exactly why they're pushing Mario Kart 9 to be the console seller for the Switch too, is because obviously Mario Kart clearly has some buying power, at least some.
I mean, that's what I said before. It's like it doesn't matter when you put it out; people are gonna buy it regardless. So it's like you might as well just have it as a launch title. People are gonna buy it regardless, whether it's like within the first year of the Switch 2. People are gonna buy it.
The theming of these levels too is so good.
Yeah, I mean, so many different locations. They kept the coin thing. I think they've kept bikes and stuff ever since Mario Kart Wii. So that's always just been like a different kind of kart style with the motorcycles.
Yeah.
Never brought back character-specific items. They never brought back the dual rider mechanic or anything like that. But they've just been polishing their main gameplay loop and stuff like the anti-gravity section was where you can like bump into other drivers and get a boost. Fun fact, that was like, I guess that was an idea that was gotten from basically spinning tops. So picture fucking what was it, Beyblade, but
Yeah.
and when like they hit each other, they kind of get like a boost of speed as they like clack off of each other. That's where the idea for like the anti-grav boost thing came from.
I'm just noticing, and I don't know if I missed it in the other ones, but is this the first one where you can stock 2 items?
Well, Double Dash.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like since Double Dash, like we haven't been able to stock up 2 items. At least I don't remember seeing it in the other ones because I wasn't
think
looking up at the top left of the screen.
Isn't it one item per character that's on your card?
In Double
yeah,
Dash,
that's
yeah.
that was the logic.
You have to
for-
switch characters to grab a second
Yeah,
one.
that was the logic for Double Dash, but this
In
might
this
have been
one,
the
they have
first
the
time
double
they've
box.
increased it.
or you can hit 2 single boxes and
Yeah.
I don't think you could do that in the Wii U version. I think that was specific to the Switch version.
Yeah, they had to justify that deluxe tag somehow. I think another first for this title was the introduction of non-Mario characters in the roster, and I'm not just talking about the Miis either. I think I might have said this when we were talking about the Switch stuff, but just to reiterate, the director of Mario Kart did not, or he wanted other Nintendo characters in Mario Kart, but Miyamoto is very just like, no, I don't want to turn this into Smash Kart, essentially. And I don't remember what the reason was, what convinced him or just what loophole the director found, but he did manage to, cram in Link and Animal Crossing villagers and Inkling people into the Mario Kart, which I think was neat. So far, we haven't seen that with Mario Kart 9. Maybe we'll get more characters in it, but I mean, I don't view as it becoming like Smash Kart. I guess you can keep calling it Mario Kart. I mean, I don't know. I would like other Nintendo characters to be in it. I'm fine with it, so I don't think anyone's gonna be mad about it except for Miyamoto.
Well, it's called Mario Kart World, so it's not numbered, so it's not part of the actual series. When it just follows the same thing as Mario Kart DS.
It is part of the actual series. Let's be real here. They can just not put a number in front of it. So
it's gonna be a weird movement.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, cut out.
Uh-oh.
After this, I mean, you got to think about the
wait, no, before you continue, right? you cut out for a long while, so start over.
Yeah.
Great.
And he cuts out again. Oh.
I guess
so
yeah, go ahead. It's good.
Well, I was going to say the continuation of the series being Mario Kart World. It's like, well, what do you do after that? Call it Mario Kart 10, or do you like Mario Kart Galaxy? You're kind of opening up like
just follow Fast and
massive,
Furious
scale at this. I guess, yeah.
A massive world of possibilities.
Unless it's Mario Kart World 2 or Super Mario Kart World.
Well, I can definitely say like
with BioShock 1, BioShock 2, BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, I can definitely say with these games, they're
it's just a little bit of like for Zelda, it's like.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, I was gonna say is like the how these what I'm also noticing is that compared to like your normal racing games, it's just the whole dynamic of how everything is playing together. Like you're not going through just a simple round track. There's just so much stuff that you're going up, down, left, right, upside down, underwater, through these twists and turns.
This isn't NASCAR where it's like they're making a left turn.
Yeah,
they're making a left turn.
It feels alive. You're always on edge the whole time.
So cool.
Yeah. There's also we mentioned it briefly, but I don't know if this was. I think Mario Kart 8 was the first one where you could customize your kart. I was never a big fan of that because I feel like that started taking what I viewed as kind of the nice simplicity of Mario Kart and making it more technical and making it more like meta and competitive, because clearly once you introduce a system like that, there's going to be like a best build for your kart, so everyone's kart's going to end up looking the same, and if you're picking something for purely stats, you can easily just wind up with this ugly ass fucking kart that looks like shit but it has like the best stats, which I don't like that at all.
Yeah, there's no like transmog either. You can't just pick a style but keep the stats.
Yeah, I like it better. I like it better when it's more simple, where you just have characters with like their weight class, and then the karts all have their like predetermined stats, and you just base it off of that instead of having to like mix and match all these weird parts. Especially when you have weird shit like even like your like parachute or glider or whatever has like effect over all these other stats. I'm like, it's just a glider. I only use it on some maps. I don't even use it all the time.
Yeah. All the customization this game offers, and I always play as Mr. Scooty. I don't even know if that's what its name is.
That's the ugly ass cart that he was talking about.
Yeah, I just like playing as the little moped guy with the angry meat because it's just funny as hell.
Yeah.
I just really hate the tiny wheel option where it's just like, oh, an ATV is just this giant bulky
with the like roller skate wheels.
Yeah, but then like those fucking wheels are really good though. I usually ended up using them most of the time, so it made all my carts look
fucking
like
ugly though. So
I know, that's my point. That's my point.
I was like, I would have any other disadvantage than have my ugly ass cart be like that.
Yeah.
This guy's about to get smoked by a red shell. Nope.
That's a blue shell.
I love this. Like, I like the course. This course overall. I mean, like, I just like their course. Good as like, you're obviously gonna have the courses you hate fucking racing on because they're just like annoying. But like, I can't deny the fact that there's a lot of thought that goes into the overall these courses. Like, they're so like on theme and well telegraphed for like the turns and shit. It's just so cool.
Yeah,
The music
dude.
is also really good in these games.
Yeah, you definitely need good
I
music
remember
if you're gonna
stressing
play a
out more
game.
than listening to the music. Yeah, I do like how some of the courses are like lapping around the same course, but some of them are just like make it from point
Yeah.
A to point B, checkpoint, then C, and then to the end of the race.
Could you
It's
imagine
how they all
this
vary
being
between
in
that.
fucking VR? That'd be trippy as shit.
You would be vomiting all over the place.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
my god.
that was in Nintendo Land. It's just Mario Kart.
Yeah,
VR.
when we were in Japan, Universal, we did the Mario Kart AR experience thing where all four of us are throwing items with our head. It is interesting.
Yeah, it was not a Mario Kart race. It was more just like point and shoot.
I'm kind of glad it
Shells, I think.
wasn't. It felt more like the Men in Black ride or some of those other ones where you just kind of like you're on like a motion experience rather than like a shitty these go-karts go 5 miles an hour, drive 2 laps, and then get the hell in the pit and run into the back of somebody that's trying to get out of theirs. Give them back problems.
Yeah, to preface how much I like Mario Kart 8, when it came out on the Wii U, I got gold trophies on every single kart.
That's what I was doing.
Did not put that much effort on the Switch, so I was like, that was a one and done thing. I was like, I love that game, but I was like, I'm not doing all that shit again because 150cc on some of those courses was hard as fuck, especially with
I
like
did that with the Switch.
with the AI just bullying you.
I guess an honorable mention Mario Kart as well is the arcade Mario Kart that you find at like Dave and Buster's and shit that like takes the little picture of your face and you can spend like a bank of 4. Yeah, those are
God,
they're neat.
that is fun, but holy crap, does it take any semblance of skill out of the equation? Because
Yeah.
it's just like you get random items and all just the random nonsense that happens in that game. Because I'm like, among my friend group, I'm like the guy who's slightly better at Mario Kart than everyone else, so I would always win. When we play that arcade machine, it's just like, all right, well, you get a banana and a water pistol, and this guy gets like an AK-47 and a 50 caliber sniper rifle. So I'm like, how is that fair?
What character did you pick? He's like Tommy Vercetti. I was like, what?
A nuke in first place? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I had fun playing it, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, okay, so this is just a luck of the draw nonsense.
It's a
Skills
neat
don't matter shit
concept.
here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a neat concept. But it's one of those games too that's just like $4 to play it, and you get to play it for like 45 seconds, and then that's it. And it's like, oh, cool.
It's like we have Mario Kart at home, literally.
Yeah, I like what is the other arcade game? Mario and Sonic Olympics arcade game. That game's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the arcade one was more fun than the actual home version.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a cool stage setup too. It's probably a very expensive machine, but
Yeah.
So all of that was just leading up to us wanting to react to and talk about the dedicated direct to Mario Kart World and all the controversy and pricing surrounding it at the same time, but just to
Fingers
look back
crossed.
on what Mario Kart used to be and what it's going to become in the future. So
fingers crossed on frame rate here, unless you want to change it to like 720p or whatever, so when you're streaming it to us that it's a little smoother.
that's fine. We have all watched this previously
Yeah.
anyways, so
Yeah.
I mean, first and foremost, the visuals of this game are so good compared to like the last one. I mean, some people might be like, oh no, it's not, but like I think the art direction for this game is really good.
I mean, if they wanted like the open world experience, then it has to look good and better than all the other ones anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about price stuff after, of course, but you know, I really enjoy. This seems like a return to form with a bunch of like extra like fun stuff. There's the cow. That's who I'm gonna fucking play as. The like the world map is neat. You know, this is the Diddy Kong racing approach of like driving around to like other areas. You know, driving around to other areas so that you can like do races over there and stuff. They have the plane, the jet skis. Your vehicle kind of just turns into whatever it needs to instead of it being like
Sonic
specific.
Racing, which I found hilarious.
all these all these courses are built into the map, and I'm like, not only like when you think about it aesthetically, Mario Kart courses are fucking huge. So like, how big is this map to have all those courses crammed into it and space in between? That's just to drive in. Like, I was like, God damn, this map must be gigantic.
Well,
like, they didn't really say anything specific, but I'm like, fucking A, it must be huge.
Yeah,
it's like 4 races, right? Per like world, and there's I think 6 worlds. They said, or 6 circuits or something like that.
I think it's 4 to 6 depending on which mode you're playing on. I think if you're playing the knockout one, then it's 6 courses. If you're playing just a regular classic course, then it's just 4.
Yeah,
I think that's what they'll say in a moment.
Like this race track here is just, I love it.
Well, I mean, like, I love the different biomes. Everything's so fucking pretty. I love this one. The fucking the boo. Like, I love the cinemas. The cinema, it looks great. Yeah, the looks of this game are just like A+. Like, the carts are kind of like smaller and more cartoony. Like, they started to be coming bigger and like more like a cart, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really like where they're going, but now they're like much smaller and more compact like vehicles, it seems. Especially because I think you see a few screenshots of like Bowser, and he's like overflowing out of his cart now, which again I just think is funny because it's how it kind of used to be in the older ones.
Nintendo ones are like too big.
Yeah, look at all those, like, and all that space in between that has to be filled with shit. And I they're gonna go into the free roam mode, which I thought was kind of neat. But I was like, oh, by the way, yeah, thank you for specifying that you can play as Mario in this game. Thank you. But they the open like the free roam mode, I'm actually kind of really looking forward to, because weirdly enough, I played Forza Horizons a decent chunk, not a whole lot, but enough. I was interested in the game. I'm not really a car guy, but it was fun. And like the whole draw of that game is like, here's a big fucking map that you can just drive around and find like stunt things to do or other races, or you can just find cars out here in the wild basically that you can unlock. And they're kind of going with the same concept with this. I've heard you can unlock carts like out in the world, but there's like the secret little challenges with the P button and stuff like that, I think is really cool. I really enjoy the unlocking outfits because I like collectathon stuff. So I just imagining going throughout that world trying to find everything is going to be really fun, especially with all the the new motion options you have in this game. Because in Mario Kart 8 they introduced like that anti-grav, and before that they had like the parachute stuff. And I think they have both of those still, but now we have the carts can grind on rails and stuff. They can do in the trailer. Wall riding. They can do the jet ski thing. They can go on water now. But not only that, in this one they introduced the fact that you can just have your cart jump if you have like a little bit of boost time, which you can actually use to dodge items, which is huge because that makes like a whole new level of skill to the game to be able to dodge items and shit like that by just timing your jump properly. I thought that was actually way bigger than it seemed.
It was 7 cups, I guess. 4 races each cup. That's what the last one just showed.
And again, you
that's
unlock
the
costumes from like difficulty or challenges and stuff.
Well, no. So you
find them in the world.
Well, you go to
you
go to the free roam, and there's like these fast food places where you get like, I guess, culturally themed food for the area, and they unlock a character's
waiting
outfit.
for the bullshit outrage of whatever that is.
Yeah, which I love Peach's outfit. That looks cool. I liked some of Bowser's outfits. Looked awesome. Like, I really like the outfit.
And I actually like Mario when he was on the motorcycle. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you unlock an item too, it unlocks for everybody. Thank God that you don't have to drive a map with every single character.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. But I'm unironically looking forward to the free roam mode. This is another new mode that they added. This like knockout tourney, which is quote unquote battle royale Mario Kart. Essentially, where like you have to come in at a certain place, and it has to be a lower and lower number every race to stay like in the race, or else you get knocked out, which I think is kind of a fun concept. They still have like battle mode that they've always had in Mario Kart, but
they did a while back they did F-099, and that game mode is basically like if you're not in the top, you're out. That was the battle royale base mode, so they probably were just seeing the popularity of that and then put it in this game.
This is one of the weaker aspects of this game. I feel the new items I don't think are all that great. Like this coin shell, I'm just like whoop-de-doo. It's a green shell that
I
just
just
spews
don't
out
know
coins.
why you
Who
would
cares?
want that. Isn't that going to make all the other characters faster?
To give
though?
you coins. Well, not if you get them, and they literally say it in the trailer. It can work against you if you don't use it well enough.
Oh.
The hammer one looked kind of fun.
That was
hammer
The
freaking
fire,
insane.
It was fucking
the
cheap
fireball
as
looked
shit.
kind of lame because, quite frankly, I could have sworn they also already had the Mega Mushroom in Mario Kart, but I guess I was wrong. But Mega Mushroom's fine. But again, they're not bringing back like character-specific items, which I think is kind of meh. Whatever. I kind of wish they went back and did that.
The feather jump is in the Super Nintendo game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Oh,
you can
I
use
would-
it to leap over a.
It does sound familiar, but I don't remember it from Link's Awakening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is kind of why Link's Awakening has it too. It's just it's the same.
And we already had Bullet Bill and other Mario Karts and the Lightning Bolt and stuff like that. It seems, I mean, maybe there's stuff they're not showing us, but like the new items, I don't think are all that fantastic. I mean, it's nice to have new items, but I just don't find any of them like especially crazy.
I don't know if they had said that they took any out though, because it's like, do they got the boomerang item?
I mean, I don't know if they would actually say so or not, but I guess we'll all find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall on a surface, like it genuinely has the most content out of any Mario Kart game to date. Like, I don't think that can really be debated, honestly.
There it is.
Calm down, Corey. Check your blood pressure. I know you want to like reach into the screen and like tear it out of reality
And buy it.
But I mean, I think it's really fun. Quite frankly, I was already kind of intrigued when they showed it off during the Switch 2 Direct, and I'm like, I want to play this game more after seeing this Direct. I mean, it wasn't the most informative. There's still plenty of questions about the game that I want answered, not necessarily even concerning the pricing and whatnot, just like stuff about like what's actually in the game. But it looks fun. This looks like a really good Mario Kart game.
Yeah. I wonder if the fast food is item like a generated item because they showcased it like cycling before it landed on the burger.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just like the effect that they have, but like this stuff, I'm always waiting somebody to be like, "Oh, cultural insensitivity," and
That's
it's
crazy.
like, whatever. It's food.
That's awesome.
Food.
Yeah,
But-
it's just fun. I think the food looks nice, and I really like outfits on characters because it breathes new life into characters, and there's so much you can do about it if you really know the characters for like accessories and stuff. Yeah, this charge jump thing, like, as in addition to like your drifting, like this is just a straight up new mechanic you can do where you can just jump over shit, which is really cool.
You know, it might have a high
racing
skill
parkour was
ceiling.
ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. It's adding like a whole new layer of skill to the game, which even casually you can enjoy because you can use it to like jump over those cars on like Mushroom Bridge or whatever and stuff like that, like if you use it properly.
The weird thing they added is that fucking rewind.
Yeah, that was weird.
Is really weird. I was like, oh, you can just do that whenever? Like whenever. I mean, I understand like you're literally like this is like tracer rewind from Overwatch. Like everyone else is still moving, but you're gonna move back in time. And I'm just like, why would you ever do that in a race? Like it seems better for you just to take the fucking hook of shame from Lakitu than to fucking rewind.
Well, it doesn't say that there isn't a hook of shame though. So like I don't know if you like leave the race zone, you have a count because if it's open world, I should be able to drive off the racetrack and then it'll be like countdown to continue or like what's going on here. Or does the game make me use the rewind feature because of whatever? But like it makes sense if I'm trying to like get really good at a course and I'm on the time trial. But I don't think I would ever do it in an actual race against players. But it would be funny to kind of just like somebody will do the math on it of like I hit a banana peel. If I rewind and dodge that banana peel, it's actually going to be faster than hitting the banana peel and slowing my momentum. Even though you're still going to fall behind places, it might just be a weird like thing to just quick slap so that you can get around it instead of eat the crash. But I don't know if there's like a set timer that you have to go back or whatever it might be. I don't know how they're gonna
resource based.
like you charge it up or something.
Oh, that was the other thing. This is like 24 racers, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the most people that can race in
So now you're
in
really
a
pissed when
single
you're in
course.
last
That's
place.
probably why.
Yeah.
Why the cards are
I can
compact
already see
now.
the like drinking game that this one will give you with the teams.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Balloon battle, like I don't know.
I
Like
never liked
playing the
it.
battle modes across Mario Kart against friends and stuff has been kind of fun, but we've only ever played this coin one the most. And the what is it, the Star King, where you grab the thing and it's basically the King of the Hill or whatever, and then just regular racing, because regular racing is way more fun than driving around and throwing shells at each other to knock the balloons off.
I mean, because the balloon
then,
ones is just like if you lose all of them, then the game is done for you while everyone
yeah,
else
you're
is
just
still
watching
playing. But
everybody
all the
else
other
have
modes,
fun.
you can just continue playing no matter what.
Yeah. But like the free roam aspect is kind of neat. I after seeing it in this trailer, it kind of tells me, they are treating this as a mainline Mario game, and that's why it's a launch title, because they're like, there's so much more content. It's not just the typical Mario Kart racing game. It's, drive around, find hidden shit, puzzles like this thing here with challenges. I'm just hoping that it's not just that over and over and over again, like blue coins, blue coins, blue coins. Like, I'm sure that there's not a lot you can do because you can't get out of the cart, but there's going to be like jump challenges or time trial
Sounds
challenges,
like
things
Forza
like that.
Horizon.
And, that's kind of interesting.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what Forza Horizon is. That's why I brought it up earlier. That's literally what you can do.
Didn't Burnout Paradise do something like this too, where you
yeah.
guys kind of drive around on an island?
Yeah, you're a big old free roam area.
And a picture function, because every game needs a picture function now.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about this at all.
I do have like one. I do have a thing to say about the free roam thing. I was like, if there would be any type of DLC, despite the fact that it is an $80 game, that if it would have DLC, it would. I know that they don't want to make it like a Smash Brothers type of thing, but having the like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom world as an open world Mario Kart, where you go through like each temple as like the cart areas, and then in between you just run around doing Korok trials. It was like because they're really pushing that Zelda stuff like in like everything. So
yeah,
it's like I was wondering if you could just run around Hyrule Field in a Mario Kart with like DLC characters of Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf and stuff. So it's just like that's all DLC. So it's not required to be in the base game because it's not even Mario Kart related. It's just like an additional stuff that's not Mario, that isn't Mario related entirely. So like for like paying $80 for Mario Kart just to have the Mario related things in it, and then paying extra for things that aren't, just having a kart version of other franchises.
This trailer doesn't like drop a price. Just it does bring up the Mario Kart bundle. It brings up the game itself on its own, which I don't know why anybody, if you're gonna buy this game, like why wouldn't you get the Switch bundle? I mean, I guess it's for the people that aren't going to get a Switch 2 on launch day for whatever reason they choose. Maybe they don't have the money for it or whatever, or maybe Mario Kart isn't as appealing to them, but like this is their big launch title game. It's kind of funny because we started with that game. The this game being $80 under the justification of it's the biggest one we've made so far is very strange to me, unless this was like truly a complete idea where they came out and said, it's $80. There is no DLC. This is the fully thought out game that we wanted to make. And, that's why. So, you're buying a full idea. But at the same time, if the game's super popular and people want more stuff, why wouldn't they make DLC? It's just because DLC kind of plagues games in general. Like a battle pass or season pass is available to pre-order in the store before a game drops, and it's like, so you've already told me that this game isn't even finished in a sense, and you're planning extra content. And some games never even get to that content when you buy the season pass because the game isn't as popular as the company was banking on. And
they're
so
not obligated.
So they never like actually do the extra content that they thought they were going to be able to. It's kind of like Marathon or whatever. Like I think Ubisoft, they said they're making a battle royale game or something like that, and it's going to be like amazing. And I'm like, you guys did Hyperscape, and that game is not running anymore. Like you don't get to really dictate your player base. They decide if the game is fun or not, even though you might have hoped it's really fun. But this game could be really fun and justify having DLC. But if I'm paying $80 for it, when people bring up these games, they're like, well, games used to be expensive back in the day. Mario Kart was $70 on 64, which if you do the inflationary math, blah, blah, blah. But there wasn't any DLC for Mario Kart 64. I got that game and that was the game. So, if they were going to approach game development that way again, I could see Nintendo actually turning around and being almost like the good guy in this scenario, being like, we're not going to nickel and dime you with extra bullshit and unfinished ideas. Our games are more expensive. However, that also isn't relatively the case, because the price points of all their games right now are kind of all over the place. Like the Donkey Kong game is $70 and this one is $80, but both of them are Switch 2 exclusives. But they say Mario Kart is a big game, but does that mean Donkey Kong isn't a big game? Like, what is this?
They need more clear definitions of like what qualifies as an $80 game. And that's the big question, right? We've been saying a bunch of positive stuff about it. I still think the game looks really, really good. I want to play it. If anyone wants to play this game, as Corey already said, you should probably just, if you're planning on getting it and a Switch 2 anyways, just get the bundle, because you're going to save yourself some money in the long run.
You save $50, right? Or $30.
$30. Yeah, because I think it's confirmed now that it's going to be sold at 80. We still don't know about the 90 for physical, but definitely it's going to be sold for $80 digitally.
I don't know if the physical price point even was confirmed by anybody.
Yeah,
I think that might have just been floating around as a rumor.
Yeah, we're not even going to address that, but because I'm pretty sure it's just we're for sure it's going to be $80. So if you want it, and getting a physical copy isn't going to help you, because I can almost be certain that they're going to put it on those stupid game key card things, so it's not even the real game. So just get it digitally. That being said, is the game worth $80? Is any game worth $80? Like what is a big game? Elden Ring's a big game, and that was only $70. It's like Red Dead Redemption 2 is a huge game. That was only $70. But Mario Kart World, you're going to tell me that was bigger than both of those games, and you're going to tell me that that's worth $80? Really?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean by
who else are you going to buy that game from other than Nintendo?
What do you mean?
That's their benefit.
And what do you mean by big game anyways? Fucking, if I'm going to throw their own shit back at them, it's like Breath of the Wild was a huge game and you sold that for 60. Like I know, and you're trying to resell it now for 90 or 80, whatever the fuck.
They did it with Tears of the Kingdom, because Tears of the Kingdom is a much bigger game, so that one's 70 because it's a premium title. But that was the only one that they released that way. So there's nothing to like hold it next to and be like, see these two games, this is why they're 70. It's like this one game was 70 for some reason. I don't even care at this point if they were to be like, look, we spent $600 million making this game, that's why it's $80. Just fucking say that, just tell me that's why, and I'll be like, oh,
I don't even think that. Again, I don't even think that's. Even...
I mean, that is a them problem, right? Because if anybody, Concord was $400 million, and that game bombed into the ground, but that's their fault.
Well, I'm pretty sure the budget for this game is. I can almost guarantee you, it's like half or only 3/4 of, or a quarter of like Red Dead Redemption 2's, and they still sold it for $60. Like, that's my point. Is like, you can throw all these other games. Because if you're like, oh, it's big, I'm like, well, these games are also big, but they're not worth $80. So what do you mean by big? Big for you guys? Possibly, I guess. Is it full of content? I'm not going to argue with it. Yes, it is. It's the most content-filled Mario Kart we've seen in the series. But is it worth $80? I just don't think it is. The only reason...
I mean, that's...
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's like that's my problem with like most modern AAA games right now. It's just like, if I see... like a hyper realistic video game, that I was like, okay, so if that game is more expensive, there was like, it's hyper realistic. I know where most of your budget went because there are celebrities in it, and it looks super fucking realistic. I was like, but is the game fun? It was like, how much of that budget and how much am I actually paying for the fun aspect of it?
And
Yeah.
and I got nothing against Nintendo either. It's just the one thing I know for sure they get around a lot is when they're using very cartoony characters. It doesn't require a lot of power to have something work that well compared to trying to actually show a real person. So it's easy for them to continue to keep going this way and say that they're making things bigger, but I don't see anything that's really completely different than the other games. It just almost seems like the sprites and everything they have are basically just being reused and just being modified ever so slightly, putting on some costumes and such. And I know the levels are bigger and everything, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the designs that they probably have is coming from all the old previous games that they have used in the past that should be making the process a lot easier to complete.
There is a part of me that is afraid that the quote unquote open world big driving from A to B.
Like, what are you saying? Like, you're scared the open world games are going to be considered these $80 games, the big open world ones?
No. Well, I'm saying like this Mario Kart game, right? So they're saying like this is a big game, and like we've kind of hammered on that already, but like, and what does that mean? And they're like to Nintendo saying this is a big game, that's why it's $80. But what does we don't really exactly know what that means, and since it's considered open world, that's great and all, but I know there's little challenges to be around, but if I'm doing empty driving from like just to interact with the game, because when you play like Mario Kart 8, for example, or any Mario Kart prior to this, you select one player, you select your CCs, you select your car, you select your circuit, you're playing. Now I'm, driving around in optional mode, or I can select my races like I normally would. So is like the free mode like something completely different to just aimlessly drive around? Because that would just be game padding to justify or saying that this is a big game because you can spend hours doing nothing, and that's like the Skyrim thing, right? It's like, what if you didn't fast travel and you walked everywhere? Like that's a huge game, but you're not doing anything except for walking, so it's like, is the open world going to be as fun as this? Because like you're going to drive around, you're going to collect everything. Once you've collected everything, is driving around going to be as fun?
Monotonous.
I mean, maybe when you're playing it 4 players, so you and your friends are driving around just doing dumb shit. But, what does that dumb shit mean? Like, is the world actually fun to drive around in? Like, or are you just driving on the grass to take photos of landscapes? Because, like, there's the little grindy challenges and stuff like that, but they're not going to have like flipping 360 like roadways and crazy shit like that. You're going to just be tooling around and on like a giant open.
Well, I can imagine. I think it will be fun to drive around in for the simple fact that there's probably plenty of places to grind and fly and drive on the water and stuff like that. Like, I think getting around will be fun, but the question is like, how long is that going to be fun for? I think that's the real question, because for me, I do find that idea fun. Even if I'm like lazing around, I don't know what to do, like throw on a true crime podcast. I'm just dicking around, driving around in free roam mode and like doing that. But that's eventually going to get boring to me. I'd rather do that, or like instead of that, I just turn my brain off and go play Xenoblade Chronicles X and do some missions or something that's just as brain dead.
Well, that was
I think
well, that was the thing for me, was I thought that the costume design stuff was all based on like difficulties and stuff, because that would be adding another part to the game, right? That would be basically, it's not just a racer game, but there's also collectives that you can possibly be doing, which would extend the life of the game, because if people are tired just doing the regular races, now they can go out and do something because they want to be able to get those cool designs and show everybody.
I mean, if like the main part of the game is to just mess around in the open world, then it's like that's kind of what some of the games like Skyrim and the new Zeldas like kind of play as. It's like, if you didn't mess around with the open world, you could beat the main story in like, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours, depending on how quick you or knowledgeable you are about it, because the main part is to just run around and explore. Like, whether it's fun for you or not is, I guess, subjective, because it's like, how much do you enjoy just finding every nook and cranny or being a completionist and getting your hands on everything that you can find. So it's
Well-
like for this one, it's just like I don't know what other hidden things. I don't know if there's like I don't know Korok seed or variants in this where you can unlock like little things and stuff. Because like they showed like a bunch of carts, but it's like it doesn't seem like you have as much customability as in Mario Kart 8 because it seems like you just pick the character and the cart. You don't pick the
Yeah,
wheels, you
I
don't
like
pick the
that,
glider or
though.
anything like that.
Well,
It could be like some
traded-
extra stuff you have to find.
Well,
Like-
the extra stuff. Okay.
I was gonna say instead of unlocking like wheels and parts and stuff, you unlock outfits. But you unlock them by driving around in the open world. So that's the way you justify the open world, which is secondary mechanic to this game because the race courses are still the supposed to do. The open world thing was so that that's why they put the costumes in the open world is because it gives you a reason to use it. And you know, instead of unlocking pieces of vehicles, you just get outfits for the characters so that you can race online and see what everybody's found. Yes.
I mean, they did say that besides the costumes, there's like trick challenges and hidden blocks that we don't necessarily know what the reward is or if there is one or
There's
how it
retro
affects the rest of
courses.
the world. So
There's retro courses too that they said are around, so I think you might have to find the retro courses. And if you beat all the courses, it unlocks what I'm assuming is the Rainbow Road Circuit.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
Rainbow Road.
You know, that's what because they said like, oh, and then there's a secret like colorful race, and it's yeah, well, we already know
PTSD, the course.
Yeah, oh, the course where you can fall off. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, because like I think it looks fun, but I will buy it if I
it's-
can get it bundled with a Switch 2. I will not buy if I had to buy this as a flatline $80 game. I probably would not buy this. It's a fun game. It looks like there is a lot of content in it, and I mean, we keep repeating it's big, but that's really all they've given us to go on as the explanation to why it's $80. I'm more curious as to how often in the future we're going to see that $80 price tag, because as we saw, DK is only $70, which is at this point we've just accepted as the standard for video game prices. I think because Metroid is going to also be releasing on the Switch 1, Metroid's probably also going to be $70 if I had to hazard a guess, possibly even 60, maybe. I'm not so sure about Pokemon because it's Pokemon, and with their powers combined, the greed is strong, so they may charge $80 for that. They might not. But I want to see how long we're going to go between this and the next game that's going to cost $80 and what the justification and what game it's going to be, you know?
Well, did you
Metroid-
specifically? I think it was. I think you said it was Tim that said it. Where the game voucher, where it's $120 and you can pick two games like $60 worth of two $60 priced Nintendo games from
Digital
their catalog that you can get.
Yeah, they're specifically digital. You spend $100 to get two coupons to get $60 games, so you're essentially saving $20. They're only digital and they're only first-party Nintendo games. And I said this in the last podcast, but the tinfoil hat theory is that that's like they're strong-arming us into doing digital only because that was something that was on the prototyping floor for the original Switch. And I do think Nintendo very, very badly wants to go digital only, but I don't know if they have the balls to be the first one to do that, even though they're kind of like shadow doing it with all the crap they're introducing with the digital and the fucking game cards and whatnot like that. So
yeah, I think they're kind of like I guess coercing us with digital consoles being a part of the Nintendo accounts. So it's like, look at all these games I can just play on my Switch because I have a Nintendo account. And then I've been saying it about Microsoft Game Pass and just being like, stop making hardware and just do the software. Like, just make Game Pass into your own Steam kind of thing, and then with other people. I think that would be better for them in general. Like, I don't know what happened because they were just so good with the 60 and it all. But before that, Metroid being on Switch 1 and Switch 2, I'm assuming they might do the same thing they're doing with Zelda, where it has the updated like version of Zelda. But if you have a Nintendo account, which you need to play online and have the consoles and all the other crap ready, it comes with the upgrade too. So you don't actually have to buy the $10 upgrade because you just have it with your Nintendo Switch account, which I think is also the chat thing that like you got to pay to use the C button, but it's like,
Yeah.
well, you're not playing online, so why would you need chat?
I think we're
You
just
know.
assuming that because
Yeah.
I think the problem with that is when they were presenting Metroid. Oops, just tore down my Neuro wall scroll. Stay. When they were presenting it in the Switch, it really seemed like it was the Switch 2 version of the game runs better. I don't think they said anything about upgrade. Like if let's say for instance, for whatever reason, I bought Pokemon Legends ZA for Switch 1. I don't think there's like an upgrade pack I can buy. I think that the Switch 2 version just runs better. Because that's how it seemed to me. It doesn't seem like it's something that is like a perk of their online or anything like that. It's just like the version you're getting is the version you get. I think it's the same way. Like I'm not gonna be able to buy like the Switch 2 version of Pokemon Legends ZA like on the game cart and put it into my Switch 1. That's not gonna work. So
No, yeah, I mean, I think that, I think if you like the Metroid Prime, getting the upgrade, that's like that's a digital patch that makes it the like PS5 version of something that was a PS4 game. If you wanted to download that, I think it'll work in a similar way because the game is going to be made in the same engine anyways. They didn't make two versions of it. I think one of them being more optimized with compressed textures, different lighting, shadow quality, anti-aliasing, insert post-processing jargon here for game development. I think the Switch 2, because of like, RAM processing power, that it would be able to utilize some of those effects, make it look a lot better and run smoother. That they couldn't have on in the Switch 1 because it needed to fit there. And I know people are complaining the Switch 2 is like it's like a handheld PS4, but like I think that's still kind of cool, considering that there isn't a handheld PS4. And I know there's the Steam Decks and things like that, but those are also like PCs that are as expensive, if not more expensive, than the Switch console.
Yeah. Well,
unless it says anything, I think that wraps up our thoughts on it, doesn't it? Because I don't know where else to go with this. I just want to see where we're going to go in the future.
Yeah.
Also, we do have a date for Switch 2 pre-orders now. I think it's next Thursday. It was like the 24th or something like that.
Yeah, I guess I'll see and can report back too from because I'm going to go to GameStop to pick up Expedition 33 day 2. So I'll be there anyways and just kind of ask like the Switch bundle and put my name in a hat, to get one. Because it says limited time. It says limited like, I don't know why it would be limited. Like the Wii U came out with 3D Worlds like bundled into it already, but
it's only limited as much as they want it to be limited because it's a digital download anyway, so it just stops when they decided they wanted to stop. It's gonna be it's just a FOMO thing because they're like, hey, you want to get Mario Kart, but it's not $80. You got to buy the Switch bundle. But I'm gonna try and get it. I don't know if they're still doing the fucking order through the Nintendo Online store thing that you had to register for. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. Hopefully I'll get one because I have to work that day, and how my job is, I'm not going to be available to even consider doing that until way after everyone has had their chance to get one. So we'll see, because I still want one and I still plan on getting it. But that accessories all cost $5 more. That sucks balls, but they were going to do something. But it's good that the console price hasn't changed, so that's at least where it's going to stay. Hopefully.
Yeah, and apparently the price changes and stuff are also except for the US's version. So the US one is the cheapest one you can get outside region locked Japanese. That's local. I'm assuming it's due to user base. Like the numbers are so large with American users and Japanese users, anyways, that of course they're going to have a little bit easier access. But the price difference isn't that much. It's only like $10, depending when you compare it to all places. If you convert to like USD and stuff.
Well, like you said,
And,
they're probably going to sell it at a loss and then make their money up with everything else, basically.
Well, yeah, especially with Mario Kart being like the bundled part, because people are gonna buy it bundled. It's like, why would I buy the console and the game? Like, when the game's coming out on the same day, it's like, why would I do that? Because that is just stupid. You would just be wasting money at that point. So you may as well just get the bundle instead of doing this independently. And like for me, I'll probably buy a Pro controller. It sucks that they're $90, but technically for me, like I will get a Switch 2. I was kind of on the fence about it, but oddly enough, the stock rebounded anyways, but the profits from Nintendo's increase in share prices from when I bought them back, I was watching it and they were like $13 a share or $12 a share or something. And I was like, oh yeah, the Switch 2 is going to be announced soon. So I'm going to buy a bunch of these. And it shot up to $18 a share. So essentially Nintendo just bought me my own Switch 2. So it didn't really cost me anything. So thanks Nintendo for the rally, I guess there.
You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh well, you're still gonna have to pay $90 for a fucking Pro controller.
Yeah, I am gonna have to pay $90 for a Pro controller though, so there's that.
More Nintendo to come.
We'll find out eventually. All our questions will be answered.
That's true.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be wrapping.
Hey, this is Corey, and thanks for checking out Mediocre Rumble Brothers. If you liked the video, please drop a like, and if you didn't, that's fine too. If you'd like us to talk about any specific games, drop a comment below, or feel free to discuss your experience with the games that we mentioned in the episode. You can also listen to our episodes prior to YouTube on our Spotify. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.